Hello everyone, and welcome to Mr. Ichinaga's English videos. This video's theme is In summer of 2023, I made a trip to the northern prefectures of Japan, also known as Tohoku in Japanese. On August 2nd, I drove to Rikuzentakata, a city in the southern part of Iwate, and Ishinomaki, a city in the northern part of Miyagi Prefecture. Both of these cities were damaged by the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami. On March 11th, 2011, at 2:46 in the afternoon, there was a big earthquake in the ocean near Miyagi Prefecture. It was the strongest earthquake in Japanese history. Not only was there a lot of damage from the earthquake, but it created many powerful tsunami waves. In the disaster areas, people only had a few minutes to get to safety, and the weather was still very cold in Tohoku. Almost 20,000 people lost their lives, more than 6,000 were injured, and more than 2,000 people are still missing. First, I drove to Rikuzentakata City. Before the earthquake, about 23,000 people were living there. But after the earthquake, nearly everything was destroyed, and people had to leave the city. The tsunami was about 13 meters high, and it went over the tsunami wall. In all, more than 1,600 people were killed, and about 200 people are still missing. Now, nearly all of the destroyed buildings have been cleaned up and removed. The area near the coast is now called the Takata Matsubara Tsunami Reconstruction Memorial Park. When you arrive at the memorial, there is a pool of water. The waves on the water represent the tsunami, and the natural light from above represents the future and recovering from the disaster. Stretching out from the pool is a long road that leads to the new tsunami wall, and on the top is a place to put flowers and pray for the dead. Near the water pool is a museum where you can learn about Rikuzentakata and the Minami Sanriku area, about the history of earthquakes and tsunami in the area, about the day of the disaster, about how people tried to help and save people, and about the recovery after the disaster. It was very amazing. Now there is a new tsunami wall, which is taller than before, and near it is the Rikuzentakata Youth Hostel and the Miracle Pine. Before the tsunami, there were about 70,000 pine trees planted here to block the wind and waves, but in the tsunami, nearly all of them were swept away by the water. Only one pine tree survived. It became very famous on the news because people felt hope that they could recover after the disaster. Unfortunately, what you can see now is not the original Miracle Pine. It is just a replica that was built after the original tree died in 2012. On the other side of the Kessen River from the Memorial Park is the remains of the Kessen Junior High School. It was close to the tsunami wall, and the water reached 14.2 meters high, higher than the school's roof. But luckily, with good disaster training, all of the students survived by climbing a nearby hill before the tsunami hit. Now, only the main school building is left. It is being saved to remind people about being prepared for disasters. Next, I drove further south to Ishinomaki in Miyagi Prefecture. Before the earthquake, it had a population of about 160,000 people. After the earthquake and tsunami, more than 3,500 people lost their lives, and about 400 are still missing. Just like Rikuzentakata, a lot of the disaster area was cleared and turned into a memorial area. And a symbol of Ishinomaki's recovery is the large Gambaro Ishinomaki sign. In the days after the earthquake, people made the sign to give hope and strength to the survivors. Because the sign was just made of plywood, it was weak against weather. In 2016, a new sign was made in a new location, about 120 meters away from the original location, inside the new memorial area. And in 2021, a third sign was built to replace the second generation sign. And about 300 meters from the sign, and about 670 meters from the tsunami wall, is the site of the Kadonowaki Elementary School. Here, the water only reached 1.8 meters high, but the main school building got a lot of damage from fires. Many burning cars and buildings were pushed up against the school by the tsunami. Luckily, everyone could escape up the hill behind the school. The damaged main school building is being saved as it was. The second building, behind it, which had lots of special use classrooms, has been fixed and now has special displays about the history of the school and the disaster. And the building that used to be the gym has displays of destroyed cars and fire engines, and the emergency temporary shelters that many people had to use until new houses could be built. Seeing the reconstruction areas of Rikuzentakata and Ishinomaki made me think about how important disaster drills and evacuation drills are. While Kesen Junior High School and Kadonowaki Elementary School evacuated quickly, there were some schools which were slower, and many students and teachers died. I think everyone should see some of the disaster sites and learn about the stories from those areas. It can make us think about how we can prepare ourselves if another disaster happens. The next video in this series will be about the Aomori Nebuta Festival. Thank you for watching.